Welcome to episode 6 of Enough Said, and today we're diving into the next of our 18 physical standards, the balance standard. Now, before we get into it, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. All right, we're sort of into our 6th episode now, and I've had some great feedback from my listeners in that, I haven't told you who I am, what this is about, and how this has come to fruition. Also, I've been a little bit scripted in my first few episodes with those natural nerves, so I'm going to let that go and just speak from the heart and speak from my experience and just be a bit more myself and open with everybody. So here we go. So my name's Jamie Jones. I've spent the last 22 years of my career as a personal trainer, strength and conditioning coach, and remedial massage therapist. During that time, I've had so many people ask me over the time, what is fitness? What is the definition of fitness? And my response has always been, can you do what you want when you want to? Okay, because you and your body is a complete individual journey. Some people want to get extremely strong. Some people want to run marathons. Some people have wanted to compete in high rocks and CrossFit competitions. They're all great, short-term goals. But as my life journeys evolved and my careers evolved, people don't really care about, deadlifting triple body weight. They don't really care about running extreme distances. And if you do all that stuff, that's great and wonderful. I'm talking about what I see with my everyday clients currently and over the past 2 to 3 years. So what is enough ability, what does enough capability actually look like for people, generally 40 plus? They just want to be able to do life and not have their body get in the way. So that is why I've created these standards and these achievable benchmarks for people to have some guidance with. There's a lot of guidelines around exercise 300 minutes a week, which is great for your cardiovascular, eat well. All these different guidelines are great. But the thing that's been missing is, what does your musculoskeletal system, so the system that involves your muscles, your tendons, your bones, your ligaments, the things that make you physically move around in life, there hasn't been any guidance for that. So that's what I've created the 18 standards for, so you can have an understanding of what is enough for you to be able to just do life. Because things like picking up the washing, bending over, pick up a parcel off the floor, getting to the floor and back up again. I've heard all these things disappear in people's lives, and it doesn't have to be that way. At the moment, everyone just thinks aging means you lose functionality, and that is happening, but it's due to not having requirements that your body needs. And the beautiful thing is that human body's really adaptable. So today we're going to dive into the balance standard and tell you why I've come up with that and how the range, the rep range and the loading required, why that's important, and how it's going to make your life more capable and a lot easier going forward. So welcome to episode 6. Let's get into the balance standard. So what is the balance standard? Now with this one, you're going to take a 10 kilogram load while standing, hold it in front of your chest. Then from there, you're going to shift your body weight onto one leg, pulling the opposite knee up in line with your hips. Hold for a 2-second count. Lower the right leg with control, and then shift your body weight to the right leg. Lift the left leg up. Hold that one for 2 seconds, and then bring it back down. And then repeat for 20 repetitions. So 10 reps on each side. Now, this standard involves everything. So as soon as you pick that weight up and hold it in front of your chest, the muscles in your back are starting to activate so you don't fall forward. So you get some extra back strengthening, some core muscles engaging just to keep you upright. Otherwise, you're going to fall forward because that's what the weight wants you to do. As soon as you pivot your weight, let's say onto your left leg, and you lift up the right leg, on that left side, your left outer hip begins to stabilize. All the muscles down through your thighs, down into your calves, and then into your feet. All right, so your foot is your connection to the floor, And then wherever the pressure is in your foot, whether it's your big toe, pinkies, middle of the foot, depending on how good your balance is, it's very unlikely you'll be perfectly still. Your foot will be constantly moving. And then those connections will be coming up your body, up into the hip, and while you're trying to hold onto the weight and stabilize. Meanwhile, on the right side, the right leg, you've brought your knee up. That means your hip flexors are getting some static strength work, all right, and trying to flex up and get some mobility on that right side as well. So we're definitely targeting the left side when you're leaning to the left and your right leg's in the air, but you're also getting some hip mobility on the right as well. So holding that for 2 seconds gives your nervous system time to work and talk with your musculoskeletal system. So all those muscles and bones, tendons and ligaments are receiving a lot of input in that 2 second hold. And then you return down and then you shift your sides and go again. So lots happening within that 2 seconds, but that's why it works. And it's a great standard and very achievable with a bit of practice. So why is balance important? For obvious reasons. You don't want to lose your balance. That's where falls can occur, injuries. Really common one I see in clinic, I shouldn't laugh, but when people are trying to put their underwear on or pants and they stand on one leg, can't balance, lose, and they hop across to the side, bang into a wall. Yeah, it's actually not really funny at all. But yeah, it does happen frequently because people think, oh, I can just do it. But yeah, it's pretty easy to lose your balance if you don't practice it. There's muscles in your feet or the front of the shins, back of the calves. They all play a really pivotal role, which just need regular input. Otherwise, it disappears and you soon lose your balance. Some other times it's important, obviously, is when you're stepping over the shower hob or out of a bath and you have to load up one leg as the other leg comes over. You want to have enough strength and balance on that one leg to keep you safe, especially in that wet area situation. And then walking up and down stairs, any time that you've put one foot up into the air and the other leg has to load, that requires balance. So you can see why it's a really important standard, just to ensure that you continue to improve it. Not necessarily always improve it, but maintain it. And yeah, it's a really simple test. And if you at the end of this podcast or later on today decide to give it a try, you'd be surprised how difficult it is to hold that knee up, go 1,000, 2, 1,000, put it back down while holding a load. It is quite difficult, but very, very easy to go from not being able to do it to be having enough. And that is just simply training it. So if you do happen to give it a go and you struggle with it, that is why I have my course, because it takes anybody and everybody from not being able to do anything to be able to do enough with the right progressions, the right loading. So if that's of interest to you, go to enough.health/course and you can start to rebuild that balance. Okay, and it's not always just do more, keep doing it. That's sometimes you can practice the wrong thing and therefore you get good at the wrong thing. So whatever messages you're teaching your body, it's always responding. But that's what training is. It teaches your body how to move. So you got to do it correctly. You got to do it progressively. Obviously, we don't want any injuries in trying to achieve these things. So set yourself up safely. But again, balance is critical for anybody at any age. So give that one a go, holding a 10 kilo weight in front of your chest, lifting one leg up, holding for 2 seconds, put it back down, transfer to the other side, and then repeat for 20 repetitions. If you need a video demonstration, you can check it out on my website. And if you go to enough.health/balance, you can get all the information about the balance standard, how to do it, and then how to rebuild it. Thanks so much for listening again. Episode 6 in the bag, unscripted, raw. I hope that's you enjoyed that one. and I look forward to catching up with you in episode 7. But for now, that's enough said.